on social media, all you're doing is being seen. You're not converting that.
How are we scaling a business without doing content?
There's SEO and then there's AEO. Most people want to be the thing that's getting searched for, but they're not the answer.
What quick steps can you break down right now for somebody?
If you're creating a website from scratch, you're creating a base for people to find. When you only have a funnel, you literally only have one page. Ads should only be used on a promotional basis. Where people mess up is they use it month to month. They got you to start something that you can't stop.
What do you think would bring in more revenue?
Master marketing and advertising. If you master that skill, regardless of the industry that you have, you're gonna make $1 million.
Welcome back to another episode of the Millionaire Essentials Podcast, where we give you guys all the essentials it is to be a millionaire. You know I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. It's Tevin Facey, and today, man, we got a special guest. We got my man Moneybag Rich in the building.
We got Mr. Richardson, man. It's Mr. Richardson.
He said he wants to be addressed as Moneybag Rich.
It's
man.
Mr. Richardson.
Okay.
Mr. Richardson, how you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm exceptional. You know the motto. We look good, we live good, life is good. Talk to me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you for laying the red carpet out, down in your town. Mm-hmm. We out here in Florida. We touched
down. Not my town. I'm from New York.
You ain't hear his whole action change. We out here in Florida.
We out here in Florida, Jit.
I'm from New York.
Duval.
I'm from New York. Brooklyn.
Now you are from New York, but you calling this home now, right?
Yeah, both home.
And you kind of lay the foundation here. You got a beautiful studio. I see a lot of people flying out, coming to meet you out here. So it's like, you a traveler. You New York, Florida. I could say this not your home. Was it your second home?
It's my second home, yeah.
I like the spot though. To be honest, every time I come here, I love it. The vibes is good. It's chill. The atmosphere is perfect. I mean, it's perfect for a podcast. So let's get to it.
I can see why people come out here.
Hey, it's a vibe. This is what we do. We set the vibe. We set the tone. I'm the best person that nobody ever known.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing.
Why is that a great thing?
Yeah,
because in order to make money out of it, you don't gotta know me.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. Now we're gonna dive into that,
right? Especially in this the era of social media that we in right now.
Because this is not the first time I've heard him say that.
I know he's always been saying this though.
Because especially the type of guests he interview, and it's like just in general, right? Social media. We in the era of everybody thinks you have to be seen to make money. Fact. You have to be the loudest in the room. You have to have the biggest presence online to make money. But you have mastered the kind of the behind the scenes, the BTS, right? Mm-hmm. Break that down, what you just said. You don't have to be known to make money.
You don't have to be known to make money. I feel like it became a fad. My first company was like 2009. And so when you've been building business for a long time, you get to see how business changed over time. And I'm not really doing anything different than you used to do it back then. But now, because it's a digital age that we in, social media has turned everybody into content creators. And I'm not a content creator, but I know how to build a business. And I know how to make that business make millions.
And I think that's super important, right? Because I think what starts to happen now, especially in this content creation world that we're in, social media, is that people don't understand or don't want to understand how to build the business first. They just want to put the content out. They see all these creators. They see the lifestyle. They see the marketing. And they just want to do that same thing. But they forget to build the business. They forget that systems and SOPs and things actually go into building a business so that you can make the money and then create the content off of the business.
Mm-hmm.
So let's scale it back, right? Because you're in media, right? You consider yourself in media, right? Yep. You've built a media business, right?
He has a media company, right?
You have a media company, but you don't do much content.
Nope. I don't do any content, really.
You don't do any content. So for the people out there,
and there's a lot.
Simplify the language.
Right.
How are we scaling a business without being or doing content?
I'm a proof-oriented individual. You feel me? I don't talk. I show. This is my main production company, Instagram. Mm-hmm. It has 3 posts on it. Outside of a collab post, matter of fact, all 3 of them are collab posts. And so technically I have no posts.
Okay.
And I haven't had any posts in 2 years, going on 3 years. But now I'm going to show you why that doesn't matter. None of our traffic comes from there. Social media is not our target audience. It's not how we make money. It's not how we need to make money. I'm going to ask a question. Do you think more people will come to your business through social media or through Google?
Google's is a bigger search engine.
Well,
Google's been around for much longer.
Mm-hmm. So now that we know that fact,
so we getting in SEO. What we talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta start speaking some language. Okay.
So this is keywords, right?
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to really see it on the camera,
but it's keywords.
Y'all
so
gonna be
these are keywords.
Now some people will argue that though. What you just said, but keep going.
But I'm gonna show you
so
why.
Hold on,
it don't matter.
we gotta break down the keywords. So these are keywords that people can search, right?
Correct.
When they're searching up something, like let's say if they're searching up media studio or podcast studio or photo shoot, those keywords would pop up, and your place would pop up in the area of where they're looking because those keywords are being placed.
Yes and no. So there's SEO and then there's AEO.
Okay.
Most people don't even know what AEO is. AEO is answer engine optimization. So most people want to be the thing that's getting searched for, but they're not the answer of what they're even getting searched for. And so when you become both, you get results like this. You see all of these keywords. Now we can just go to the left a little bit or to the right. Page 1, rank 1 overall for what? Home staging, videography, event videography. What else we got? Page 1, number 2 overall. Interview videographer. Page 1, number 1 overall. Music video videographer. Page 1, number 1 overall. Production company, Hollywood, Florida. And so not only do I run this city, I run the next 2 closest to me.
So how are you doing that without social media traction is the question. Everybody gonna ask out there.
Because it's a question. Even people from social media still look outside of social media.
Yeah.
When's the last time you really went on Instagram and typed in what you're looking for other than a person's name?
I mean, there was a point that people were trying to verify people, businesses via social media, but we were doing that before using Google because at the point there was yellow pages, and then now you go on Google and then you see, okay, cool, they're actually a real business. So now they're doing it with social media, but now you're saying basically that you now have the SEO, you have all these things so that when they search up anything that's close to what your company does, it can automatically pop up. So that's the verification.
Without posting on social media, we still hit 1.2. 1.2 as just the media company. That's not including this side of the business, this side of the world, which is like advertising, podcasting, all of that other stuff. So what's happened now, because I even got rid of that company name, is we made a conglomerate. And so all I do is media. I've never not done media, but I do every section of media. Right. And this is where most businesses fail to capitalize on all the money to be made. They're like, okay, cool. I shoot pictures, I shoot video. That's all I'm going to do. But instead, we made that one chapter. That's Mindset Media now. Now we have Attractive Mindset Studio. So I'm an organizational psychologist. That's the degree, field, background, all of that stuff. And so we're talking about like Daniel Simons, Christopher Chabris, Elizabeth Loftus, Carl Jung, all of those. These are psychologist names. And these are the people that help Oprah, Amazon, Google, whatever. Diary of a CEO has one of the biggest podcasts. He has 3 organizational psychologists on his team. And so we're not the people that are known. We're the people that build the business. And so when we get to it, it really doesn't matter who sees us. It matters what the structure looks like. And so in building the structure for it, I got something called a 2 in, 2 out. That's 2 digital, 2 physical. My 2 physical is sending people out there to go shoot. You meet them, you physically interact with them, you like them, it's cool. It's cool. Then you have the studio. People can come, they can touch it, they can look, they can do, they can book. It don't matter. Now the digital, we have Attractive Mindset Network and we have Attractive Mindset Coaching. And so I can get to anybody from anywhere in the world. So Alex Hormozy wowed the world because he just put out 100 million money models. Yes. But we've been doing this for a long time. And so I'm catching people through a signified funnel where I have an attraction, then I have an upsell, I have a downsell, I have another upsell, and then I have a continuation cycle. And so we just retain business that same way. I'm keeping people in our loop way longer, and it doesn't take me social media to do it.
So you basically taking $1 and turning it into 5, the same customer, and turning it into 10.
Yep.
That's incredible. So a lot of people.
Amazing.
And a lot of people probably are not getting that concept. And it's, I think, where a lot of people are getting lost because they're caught in that marketing cycle of, hey, you got to do 100 posts a week on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, all at the same time. And a lot of people are not really prepared for that, and they don't know nothing else.
And this is why SEO and AEO will always remain the most important, because what people lack is organic traffic.
Exactly.
And organic traffic is slow. Most people can't take the test of time to do that. When I first started my company, I was the shooter. And so I was cutting a lot of overhead. I was the guy going out there making the deals, doing all of this stuff, whatever. That was my 9 to 5. And so when people try to just quit their 9 to 5 and start their business, you're losing the threshold that holds your business up. While I was the shooter, I started SEO, I started AEO, I started building it over the years to the point where I was getting more calls than I can service myself. Now I got to build the team. Now I got to spread it out. Now I got to put people in places. And what I teach now is people how to make more money by charging less. Everybody in the day and age wants to charge 10 grand for coaching, 5 grand for coaching, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I teach them how to charge less and make more money off of it.
Because you keep that client inside your network and you build them up.
Not even just that. It gets even deeper than that, because what are some of the biggest sales that we have in our life right now?
Subscriptions.
Yeah.
And from subscriptions, you got what? Pricing.
Like small, like 19, 20,
you add items on top of that.
50.
Correct. Not even that. Just Netflix.
Just Netflix.
$16 a month. Amazon Prime. If somebody
wants
a blue check,
a month or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
If somebody wants a blue check on Instagram, they have these thresholds, but that is what makes these companies multi-million, billion-dollar companies, because they're meeting people where they are. People will always remain the majority with the lower amount of money. And so why wouldn't I build a studio that caters to the majority? I don't charge nearly as much as these other people, but you got to treat it like Blue Magic, Denzel. Okay, cool. If I cut underneath the competition with high rate studio, high rate engineers, high rate cameras, there's no way that you can beat me. I'm always going to beat you in a quantity race. And that's what it comes down to. I'm going to reach more people because of how my company's set up. And I don't run ads. I've never run ads. I can show you my Facebook ads right now. 0 ads. And we still do M's.
So how does somebody, because you spend a lot of game, right?
A lot.
But now for some people out there, a lot of people out there, just because of the noise around them and all the people in their ears, they're probably going to be like, nah, that's cap. That's impossible. So we teach funding, right? And, we teach people when they're setting up their businesses, get your website set up and grow your SEO, right? Not AEO, because, we haven't really dove that far in, especially with, our clients or customers. But we teach, hey, get listed in Google, get listed on these platforms, get your BBB, your Trustpilot, get your reviews, trying to build up your SEO. But for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to really scale my business off of this, how do they take that approach?
And so it depends on what industry that they have. But what scaling looks like is, if you're not going to be the face, somebody has to be. And so we work in a day and age of where the name Jeff Bezos, but you also know Amazon. And so now you have to think of who's really the face in that dynamic. Did you know a Jeff Bezos before Amazon, or did you just know him through Amazon? So there's 2 different demographics of people that get signified there, because some people know his journey before then. Some people don't know about him until Amazon got big. And that's the same thing for Nike, same thing for Facebook, same thing for whatever. You hear their stories, Elon Musk, all of that stuff. But how it happens is time leverage. That's what they're doing. That's how you scale any business. And so what I teach, the principles of a structure, is a 6-step process. And in that 6-step process, literally, it don't matter what industry you're in. If you follow these 6 steps and you start with it, advertising is the number 1 step that you got to go for. And you got to understand what your channels are. If you don't know what your channels are, you're cooked. Off rip. Don't matter. It's social media. It could be social media, but it doesn't have to be you on social media. Me right now, as a physical human being, I make 75% of my income residual. I could be asleep. I could be on vacation. I could be wherever. But I'm able to do that, not through AI. I'm able to do that because there's another human being taking my place.
Employees, you built up systems and
Correct.
operations.
Correct.
So with that being said, right, because you already mentioned the key word AI, because that was my next question in regards to especially everything you're talking about with the AEO, the SEO, right? you haven't implemented AI as yet. If and when you are going to implement AI, what would it be towards? Because I know you already have the system set up.
You say it hasn't.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I definitely have AI.
Yeah. That's what I said. He didn't say he hasn't.
Yeah.
I know he use AI.
So then what do you use AI for?
So I use AI for structural organization.
Okay.
And so that's literally all that it does is back end. And so I use AI to format things on like a CRM level.
Okay.
And so the people that I'm taking in, are we nurturing that sequence? And where is it going? How are they being talked to? Who's talking to them? Because I'm not doing it either. But that's where we combine two different structures. And so when you're making a structural organism, like we're going to organizational psychology, you have two different flows. And they call it like an 8 sequence. And so you might have 2 boxes in the middle, but then they have like a webgram on each side.
Correct.
That's the same thing. You have AI and now you have team. When you combine AI and team, most people take it as I have to replace my team with AI.
Yeah.
Instead of I got to incorporate AI with my team.
And that's what I was saying to you the other day when you were talking about the coders and the engineers. Is AI is not going to, and this is just my opinion, AI is not going to replace them. I feel like they're going to work in conjunction together.
I still disagree with you. Because if we're talking on a corporation sense, the biggest thing is what they're going to do is cutbacks and save money. So let's just say even if it may not work, they're going to say, hey, let's cut this whole section, have 1 or 2 coders and do the whole company with AI. That's how corporations think.
Yeah, but
that's how corporations think.
I mean, so
that's my opinion.
For me, what I'm thinking about is longevity. And so for the media company, already, and I've seen it happen firsthand. I already outlast the majority of what most people consider a media company.
Correct.
And so, how long can we go? What is real legacy? And so I'm creating something that can almost never die. Doesn't even matter who's here for the team or what is here for the team. I have a valuation on the business that I can sell this model. This is not something where it's plug and play. It doesn't take me. It doesn't take them. It's, hey, this is what I created as the conglomerate. I can sell you this business. You can operate it and it'll run and have cash flow operating for you.
And I think that's what's very important that the people need to realize, because the majority of people out here, they're the face of their business and they're running their business. So you take them out of it, their business isn't worth anything.
Exactly.
And then down the line, once we make money, now we're trying to recalibrate the wheel and build our business up to where we can get an evaluation because we started it wrong off the first place. So you're saying you already started the foundation. You already plugged yourself out. So you can get an evaluation because you could just plug and play and it's already a money machine.
100%. Yep.
So question, right? And this is a conversation me and Brandon have had before, right? And I know you said you finished school with your degree.
I didn't even finish school with it. I dropped out.
But you went through entirety of it. Would you?
He just say he dropped out. How he went through the entirety, bro?
No, but he went through the entirety of learning.
Of dropping
I
out.
had like 1 semester left.
That's what he
Are you talking about college or high school?
Yeah, college.
I thought you dropped out.
No, he said he got all the way.
I thought he was a high
to
school dropout.
basically. But what I'm saying is would you have gone the entrepreneur route, or would you have continued on that path if you could do it over again?
If I could do it over again, it'd be wild. I don't know if I would be in the same scenario because I was really in the hood. Like, I got shot, stabbed. Like, I was outside before any of this lifestyle. So I can't even think about myself in this version of myself, because how I got here was I was about to either die or go to jail.
Right, through adversity.
And my friend was like, yo, join the military. And they were offering me $3,000 at the time, which was a lot. We were eating free fries from Buffalo Wild Wings on Wednesdays and banking off eggs and doing all of that stuff. We lived in a house with no electricity, no hot water in New York. And so nobody came up to me at that time with like, yo, you could be an entrepreneur or whatever an entrepreneur is. All I know is, cool, they're going to give me $3,000. I don't got to pay for a place to live, whatever. And I got to do a minimum of 4 years. I never thought of it as a career. I never thought of it like, okay, cool, I'm going to take this to the moon and be the best military person ever. I said, nah, I'm going to do 4.
But know what you know now, what would you choose?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I think he's saying basically his path was destined for him to get to where he is, so he wouldn't choose a different path.
Because even on the journey to entrepreneurship, without me going to the military, I wouldn't have made it. because on deployment, my second deployment, I read 42 books. You're stuck over in another country for about 7.5 months,
Right.
12-hour shifts, 6 days a week. All I would do is read books after we got off. Some people like the gym. Some people like the little beer tent. They let you drink about 3 beers a night, whatever. Cool. I read books over there because it was about a year left before I got out, and I started panicking. I'm like, yo, I don't have no skills. I joined the military for upfront $3,000, and I joined as a combat MOS. I'm blowing stuff up. I'm a tank crewman. I shoot things. I can't do that when I get back into real life.
Yeah.
And so I started reading books, and that was my outlet. I'm like, yo, Rich Dad Poor Dad, all the classic stuff that they went over. I started reading that, and I saved my money from deployment. Now, when I saved my money from deployment, fast forward to get out, I was talking to this girl that was out here, and she was like, yo, you can come stay with me. I was like, if I go back to New York, I know I'm gonna get caught up in something. And so I just came straight here after. And when I came here, that money that I saved from deployment, I went into angel investing from a book that I read. And I gave these kids where they were young. They had to get their lawyer and their parents involved because they were underage. But they were like, yo, we want to build a website. And here's me all hype over reading books, and I got extra money. I'm not paying for a crib because she's paying for it. I gave them $18,000.
Sheesh.
And they built the website. And I said, yo, I just want a percentage over X amount of years. Yeah. That website by itself started a return maybe a year later, a little under a year later, for about $3,000 to $5,000 a month.
That's a heck of a return.
Yep. And so I made my money back times like 15, not even, more, maybe. Yeah, it made me a substantial amount of money. And that was my real first taste of like entrepreneurship. And I was like, okay, if I could do this for somebody else's idea, maybe I can create something for myself. Right. So I joined network marketing. I joined ACN. And then from me joining ACN, I started up a little team. And then people were calling it a pyramid scheme and all of this stuff. But all I knew was, yo, this guy that joined at the same time as me hit the bonus, which was $60,000. And I'm like, cool, it might be a pyramid scheme, but he really made that money. And I watched him join at the same time. And so that was my focus, was to get as many people in, not even sell the items. I said, can I get a team of people in there? They maybe sell some items, whatever. That's my downline. And I hit the $60,000 bonus. But from me hitting that, I quit. Everybody thought I was going to be the next biggest thing in the company, whatever. I went on stage at Dream Weekend and got my little ETL ribbon, and I was like, nah, I'm out. And then that's when I met Dan at college. And I went to, I was acting on a set, and it was Rick Ross's director at the time, Dre Films. And I'm running around for $200 on a basketball scene. Retake, redo, do it again, whatever, blah, blah, like 6 hours in the heat. And he's there chilling with his crew. And I'm like, yo, how much y'all make off of doing this? He's like, oh, this is a small music video set. It's like $40,000. I said, I'm on the wrong side of the camera. And so I seen Dan in class, and I'm like, yo, you got a camera? Let's start a company.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know how to start a company? You got clients? I said, nah, we're going to figure it out, though. And eventually, we did. That camera led to 2 cameras, which led to 4, which led to people, which led to whatever. And then it started just growing from there. But after it got to the point where I realized I was up for like 4 days at one point, and I crashed my car, totaled it. Airbag popped out, face crazy, everything. I'm like, yo, I only have 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard I go, no matter how good I am at operating this camera, I'm not going to get past life.
Right.
And so that's when I really started focusing on a team. I started doing a double major, going into psychology, understanding like how to break down numbers different a little bit, but more so the mindset behind things and the business mindset behind things. And so when I started hearing things from like Elizabeth Loftus, how to really use the dark version of psychology or change people's mind on what they like, what they don't like, how to set up systems, system integration, all of that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I like this. but I also like media. And so I just combined the two. And so I've always been a media company, but it's always been backed by psychology.
Nah, that's very interesting. That's a crazy sequential breakdown on how we got to Mr. Richardson today. So I know one of the things I would still want to go back to is the AEO SEO. So what type of customer or client do you prefer working with? Is this something that you want to teach to beginners? Hey, I just started my LLC. I'm 30 days, 90 days in. I want to grow my business. Or is this somebody where you want to come in that has some experience and say, hey, this is what you need to be doing? Which is your preferred entrance or type of customer?
I tell them, take the client that's going to pay you the least amount of money.
That's going to be the most loyal.
That's Tevin.
He said that's me.
That's Tevin.
Yeah, take the clients that's going to give you the least amount of money because yes, they do come with headaches. Yes, they do come with chargebacks. Yes, they do all of that.
So that's an interesting take.
You have to always do ROI. What's your ROI on that? For the amount of low-hanging fruit that I get, how many actually do chargebacks? How many actually piss me off? Yeah, of course, you're going to have the ones that do it way more often than the ones that pay you good. But the frequency of it, okay, cool. I just racked up $100, $200 shoots versus I charged this guy $2,000 and I maybe got 4 or 5 shoots. Like I still rather that because of longevity. What's my market? What's my majority? What can I get the most of? And understand I know I'm going to get the most of this because that's where organizational psychology comes in. As far as the numbers go, how many people are looking this category up? How many people are actually paying for this category? How many things make sense in this category? And then when you start putting the numbers behind the industry, DVDs just sold a little bit under $1 billion last year, 956 million to be exact. And that's a dying industry. When's the last time you bought a DVD, right? But there's somebody out there that's a multimillionaire for DVD in 2025.
That's great.
And so it just goes into market research, understanding what you're researching, and then finding that low-hanging fruit. Okay, cool. I'll do this, but I want to do it in a massive amount. And that's really what my whole thing is just massive action. We got about 50 contractors spread out through different states. And so there's nobody that's going to compound more time than me in my industry right now.
But you know what's funny? When you first told me that Rich was going to be doing our editing, and he gave us the price that he gave us, I said to you that price is too low. Mm-hmm. But now I understand. I completely understand.
I believed in him, bro. We established before the podcast started. Before the podcast started, we established that Tev does not mess with Richardson.
No,
Mr. Richardson.
That's my man.
We established. Oh, that's my man, Rich. We established before the podcast that Tev does not really mess with Rich. We established that. We established that, right?
We established it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
That's it. That's it. That's crazy. So that's how y'all gonna turn around on me?
But
anyways,
that's an interesting take. Cause so a lot of people, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And I believe that. There's principles, like you said from the very beginning, there's principles of business that from years and years ago that these billionaires have been using since the 50s, 60s, 70s. Before that, that still applied to that definitely applies today. We need to research and start using. Is just a different era. That's all. But the principle of business always still applies.
Always been the same. And because it hasn't changed and more people gravitate away from it, it's probably more important ever than now. Because what I do doesn't really take effort from me, doesn't really take time from me. And over the last year, this is why we're close to hitting almost 12 million.
And I think that's what's crazy. That's important. It's really setting that foundation because I definitely understand your take on the low ticket. Like I said, I think it's more than one way to skin a cat. I know people's lanes are mid ticket and high ticket. I think you could win with both. It's just that understanding the foundation and building off of that. Yeah. A lot of people will be scared of your strategy because it's a numbers game. You have to hit a lot of people.
A lot.
And then a lot of people don't have the wherewithal, the consistency.
And you're not running ads.
And the foundation to really do that.
Yeah, but that's what I tell people all the time is take the you out of the problem. You know, when you take your name out of the problem, you take the fame out of the problem. And if you don't got to be famous, then you can really focus on making money. Because again, I'm reaching more people, not because of my own efforts. Yes, SEO, AEO is doing its thing, but I have people out there. And at the end of the day, no matter how AI we get, no matter how digital we get, we live in a people-based world. You're not going to go order food from online and you've never been to the store, or you don't like the store, or you can't physically pull up to the store. It doesn't exist. You're not going to order food from a 3D printer.
Well, right now, I mean, we may be heading towards there, bro. We're saying right now, but
people will still always be the base.
And there's always going to be reviews. People
always still going to be the base. There's still going to be food critics on it. There's still going to be whatever on it. And so the fact that I have shooters with personality going out, I could put Dan in the room and people are like, yo, Dan is a vibe. Like, I get my edit back, I do this. Like, he's cool in person. We shoot. It's a vibe. Like, whatever. Now there's 50 of them. You can't beat that. And so personality is what is locking in retention and recurrence. And so my continuity is going based off of the personalities that I have. I hire based off of personality, and I train for skill.
I like that.
Definitely. Question I have, right? And this may sound repetitive in a way, but with the AEO and SEO, right? How and I know you did say yes, you'll take the person that's the lowest hanging fruit, the lowest hanging customer. But could you break down a quick step by step, right? For the person that's watching here now, right? That's saying, hey, I've been trying to create my website. I've been trying to get the SEO going and things like that. Like what quick steps could you break down for somebody right now? Obviously, they can lead to something more later on. What quick steps could you break down right now for somebody?
You want a specific industry?
Go ahead, give an example. Yeah.
Pick
media. You could do. You want to do media?
Y'all. Media?
We do funding.
Do funding.
Yeah, do funding. Come on. Give us.
And so if they want to create their
mentorship,
website,
because we don't want to pay you.
Create a website from scratch.
Yes, create a website.
And so first,
a question: do you think creating a website or having your website that you already have and tailoring the SEO around it?
You got to create the website.
Got to create.
And
it.
So the first gem we're gonna go to is, don't listen to what we do, watch what we do. Because that's ClickFunnels whole right there. What's his name? David?
Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson, or you talking about?
Yeah, Russell Brunson.
Okay.
He's fooling everybody. He's doing the magician magic hat trick. Like, look at this hand when the trick is happening in this hand. He's telling you buy a 1-page funnel, right? Off of his what?
Off of his upsell, downsells.
Not even that complicated. Off of his website.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a website.
Oh, he doesn't have a funnel.
He doesn't have a funnel. He's selling you a funnel. He's telling you need a funnel while he has a website selling you that funnel. And so it's one of those, look at what I say, not what I do kind of things. And that's the magic trick right there. Because when you have a website, now you have tabs, you have pages, you start to create backlinks. And so when you're creating
funnel
a website.
Is a backlink. Go ahead.
A funnel is not a backlink because it has to go to a backlink.
Correct.
And so
the pages on the website is completely different than just an actual funnel.
100%. And so now when you have these different tabs, if you're creating a website from scratch, whether it be funding, whether it be whatever category that you want, you're creating a base for people to find. When you only have a funnel, you literally only have one page. And so if they find that one page, they found one page versus you having a website. I could have one category on there named home. And on my home tab, I can have 10 pages. On the next tab, media, I can have 30 pages. On the next tab, about us, I can have 30 pages. And I can continually do that. You always want to negotiate for a custom website. Dan will tell you, we done dropped $4, $5, $6 grand on the website. That's one of our first upfront initial investments that you got to do. If you're going to spend money on anything, do it on your website first, because when you get people to go there or when you get people to find you, especially from these amount of pages, the traffic that you get back from that organically is none bar, because I might spend that $5, $6 grand up front, but what are my pricing thresholds? Even if I sold something for $10, the fact that I never have to do that again and I can make money, which is why this will always be better than ads. Ads, you literally can't stop. This is why I don't teach really ads like that. Now I do understand why ads are necessary, and it does make upfront money, but ads should only be used on a promotional basis. Where people mess up is they use it month to month because they get used to the money that it brings in. And so when people tell me, "Oh yeah, I spend 40,000 a month on ads," or "I'm doing 100,000 a month on ads," or whatever this week, I know they're stuck. Because all I got to tell them is, "Cool, stop." If they stop, their entire business crumbles because their business now runs off the money that those ads bring in. And that's how Facebook makes their money, because they caught you in their system. Mm-hmm. They got you to start something that you can't stop. And so ads should only be used on a promotional basis. Black Friday, holidays, whatever. You take the client in, you have more offers, and then you cut it. You don't keep it running month to month. And so now if you have a funding company and you build your website, you're not going to be searching for the answer. You're going to be searching for the problem. And so a lot of people, when they do SEO, they're probably going to try to put themselves as, funding company New York, funding company Brooklyn, funding company Astoria, whatever. That's not what you do. You can do that as well, but that's not how you get the real results. How you get the real results is you turn your keywords into the problem. And you turn your domain. That's SEO now.
Like how to start a funding company, or...
Yes. You turn that into
how to get
AEO.
Funding. Yeah.
And so once you turn those into AEO, you set them as forwards towards your regular domain. And that creates it as a backlink. Now you also put yourself on more backlinks. And so you want to go to IMDb. You guys have a podcast, Millionaire Essentials. IMDb is still one of the biggest backlinks in the world. You have a podcast, make a TV show on there. Put your stuff on there. That, and then you put in there the SEO of funding experts, credit funding, whatever. I guarantee y'all are going to spike up to just even the first page. Maybe not number one, but that alone should put you on the first page. And so once you start doing it for a while, you learn little tricks like this. Okay, cool. How can I leverage YouTube? How can I leverage Google itself, Yelp, IMDb, and then you look at some of these other big backlinks. There's so many that are out there, but if you can get a whole Peerspace, Airbnb, all of those type of things, tweak it. Put yourself in those bios, in those blogs. Where AEO is starting to matter more now is because AEO is AI. AEO is the response. So that's your chat Gemini. That's your domain names when you're linking it towards something else, forwarding it towards something else. And so not only should you be what you're searched for, but you should be the answer of what you're searched for. And that makes you transcendent to the city. And so now we're not stuck in one location. SEO is kind of stuck in one location. AEO is just a response.
He just broke down the whole masterclass right there.
Yeah, this is information that a lot of people
for real
don't know, and it's probably not gonna comprehend till they play this back.
Yeah. No, this one you definitely have to rewatch for sure, because like even some of the stuff you're mentioning, we don't even do inside of our business, even though we don't run ads and we're not dependent on ads. We don't even do those things inside of our business yet, which we need to start doing, right? And this is something that me and Brandon's been having a conversation about with SEO, and now AEO, because he has been talking more about AEO as of late. So it's just understanding how we can get to that point now beyond, like you said, putting more money into the Facebooks and the Googles, just because now we're going to become dependent upon that. Right. So talk to the business owner that they feel like, and you said this before, but I think this may drive the point home. Talk to the business owner that feels like with social media, right? And they can do their organic content and do the posting and, drop in the reels and things like that, where they're not spending money, right? Opposed to what you're doing with the SEO. What do you think would bring in more revenue?
SEO.
Okay.
100%.
Because that's been around for even before.
But even deeper than that, because I do think there are certain people that do leverage social media way better than SEO. But again, we never want to focus on the 1% or the 5%.
Right.
That's like comparing somebody who casually plays football to an NFL player. And so when you compare social media to SEO is that NFL kind of category, while social media can get that 1 rising star that might come, be a
to
phoenix or be something crazy. But how typical is that for it to happen? And then we talk about viral moments at the same time. And so you got to understand what it's like to be searched for versus what it's like to be seen. And so on social media, all you're doing is being seen. You're not converting that. And so people still have to go click around your bio. People still got to go to your website. People still got to go do all of these things for you to close the sale.
Verifications that we used to always do.
And now that's where you start to lose attention. Versus if I attract you to where I'm already making the sale, the time frame that it takes to nurture that client is way smaller of a window.
Yeah, you
are
right.
It's way less competition because they're not on social media getting other pop-ups, swiping up and down. They're on my website. Or they're finding me on Google and they're seeing me at the top. They're seeing the reviews. They're seeing the whatever. Now, where social media can be good, but also negative is I've seen people go viral and literally get crumbled by their success. One of those main people, CJ University. When he came on the podcast, we talked about it. He blew up on YouTube. And he got so many people hitting him up to buy his stuff, he started losing clients because he couldn't service all of them. And that came from him not having his back end set up. He didn't have a system. And so SEO teaches you how to make a system. You literally can't have SEO without a system. It won't work. And so you just focusing on SEO to begin with is going to give you the structure to close more sales. Versus if you do have a viral moment on social media, I don't think most people understand what that really looks like.
Right.
If
and
you
know what to do.
I think that's what set up. And I think that's what it is, right? So you mastered the AEO, the SEO. So I think it's just people just not being locked on one tool and just understanding one strategy. And that's where I see a lot of people go wrong. So if you see the people that's, in my opinion, making the most money, right? We could say the Russell Brunsons, the Alex Mosey's, they've mastered multiple strategies. They've mastered everything we're talking about, they've mastered. So if you're able to master multiple strategies, because markets have seasons, your business is going to have seasons. There could be a season where, hey, these numbers are not as up. If you know how to get on social media, if you know how to run ads, if you master SEO, every season you're going to be able to make money.
I don't agree with that 100%. And here's why.
Why? Go ahead.
Because when you become a master of something, your mastery is around the subject, not the branch. And so your subject is your tree. Right? Media is my tree, but my branches are all different. And so photography, videography is a branch. Advertising, marketing is a branch. Coaching is a branch. All of that. And so what really makes a fruitful tree? When they say 7 streams of income, they don't mean 7 separate streams of income. They mean, how do you have 7 streams of income in one business? And we also have SAM.gov. I'm SAM.gov certified.
Yeah.
I have those different license thresholds and stuff too. And so we're reaching out in different aspects, all for the same business. And so when I tell people like, okay, cool, it's a multi-million dollar business without social media, is because that's not one of my branches, but I have 7 other branches. So it doesn't really matter what it does, and those branches are kind of weird because they can have different seasons. And so I've made most of my income somewhat predictable.
I mean, that's hard. That's hard. That's hard to say for somebody, especially nowadays, right? To have a predictable income. I think everybody's income fluctuates, but with you saying what you have and the foundation you have, I mean, I think that's what everybody needs to strive to build. Right. Especially as we dive deeper into going more into social media, right? There's more AI coming out, more AI content creators, right? Nowadays, building a predictable business is going to be harder, I feel like.
Yeah. What I would suggest everybody, no matter what industry you're in, because this is part of the steps to a structure, right?
Right.
And so master marketing and advertising. The difference between marketing and advertising, and I need y'all to stop doing this. Marketing is not advertising. Marketing is research. Marketing is them answering the questions, you finding out what they like, what they don't like, how you can use all of that to make an ad, package it up, post it on social media, or do ads, or do SEO, make your website, whatever. That's advertising now, is when you learn the information, then you put it out towards them. If you master that skill, regardless of the industry that you have, you're gonna make $1 million. And I've proved it. I can prove it. I have people that have shitty ideas and they do amazing. They're on stages right now, international. I have a student in Canada that just did 3 podcast tours. He was just at Podcast Movement in Texas. You know, like I had another girl, Cassandra, who's going crazy on Instagram, and she's like the story expert of the world, and she has like 170K followers. And we don't meet that often. We don't have that many sessions or whatnot. But what we did was we built the structure. And what the structure looks like is there's a model of, and again, I'm going to give you this gem. Y'all are going to have to play this back. I already know it's going to go over your head. So if you start a company, what you want to do is find a need for something. And now you start taking a small percent. So for my media company, that percent is 18, right? However you come up with that number is on you. You don't want to put it past 20. Some people do 10, some people do 12, 15, mine's 18, right? So I'm giving them 82% of the threshold. Now what I'm taking over for them is I'm finding the client, I'm settling up all the taxes, I'm writing their W-2, their 1099, making all the things that they don't want to do. So hey, go out and shoot. That's all you got to worry about. Just go shoot. Go edit. Go shoot. I take care of the rest. And once I set that system up, that's where AI comes in. I don't have to replace them. They're physically going to go do the stuff. Now AI helps me facilitate that back end. Once you have AI help you facilitate that back end, that 18%, all you got to do, and the hardest job that you'll have, is finding more people. That's it. Because once you start caking it into SEO, AEO, you literally will start almost running out of people to the point where it's like, oh, I don't have somebody that can fill this, especially around holiday seasons or stuff where people want multiple videographers, multiple photographers, multiple whatever. Now fill it in for your industry. Who wants funding? When do they need funding? I know there's periods where people need more funding. We're talking about Christmas time. We're talking about New Year's. We're talking about around tax season type time frames. And so every business, regardless of what it is, has this industry, and y'all can make this model. Find somebody who's already doing what you're doing, take 18%, go find the client for them. But you're not finding the client based off of you searching, you're finding it off of the system that you set up.
That's bars right there.
Nah, yeah. I think the only issue with what you're saying, for the majority of people, you're definitely a lot more technical and integrated in the way you think and operate. Yeah. The majority of people out there are not ready for that. They don't think and operate on that spectrum.
It's rough. It's definitely rough, but again, when it comes down to it, you're not going to make a ridiculous amount of money. It's how you make the money. And so for me, you know, I see a lot of my peers, but where the respect comes in is I have way more time than you, because there's people around me that make way more money than me.
Yeah,
you
explain
know,
that.
They might do 50K a month, 100K a month, whatever. I do a humble, 2025, but I do mine 85% sitting at home. I'm not on the phone. I don't have a webinar, never done a webinar. I don't have weekly events. I'm not posting content. I'm literally living.
And I think that's very important what you said, Super. Right? Your vision and goals. Really determine what's your vision, what's your goals, and what do you want your life to really be like. Because there's some people who's in love with fame. They want to be on TV, which is nothing wrong with that. They want to be in front of the camera. They want to be out there, which is nothing wrong with that. Some people love that. But then there's people that buy into that who's really scared of the camera and think that's the only way they can make money. But it's really not. You can make money behind the camera.
Yeah.
You can make money basically sitting at home building systems and, like you said, building that foundation to build your team around you to go out there and collect that 20, 25, 50K. It don't have to stop at 25K.
Yeah, it don't have to.
50, 100K if you want to keep scaling.
Yeah. And it comes down to what's the real difference between a 9-to-5 and that at the end of the day. Because people mask it with a different word. Okay, I'm going to do this webinar. You're tied to that webinar. You got to do that webinar every week. Oh, I get AI to do the webinar. Those people can tell. You're not closing as many deals when you have that do it. which is why you go back and do it. Oh, you want to fly out to this state, go speak on this stage, go do this and that? Okay, cool. I'll tell you your schedule. I'm going to be in Tulum. I'll be back though. Hey, I'm happy to see you on stage. Congrats. I clap for you all day. But you don't have time to spend with yourself. And I ask people, when's the last time you were able to put your phone down and spend 24 hours without looking at it, without talking to it, without talking to nobody, and your business doesn't skip a beat? And most of them that make money like that can't do it. I had somebody call me the other day. I just put it on the schedule, didn't I? She was breaking down to me, and she just made $1 million. And she
ain't had no time.
She's like, I'm overwhelmed. She's like, I don't got time for my son. I don't got time for this. And I just made mad money. I just made mad this. And my family's, I don't even know what I like.
It's the constant grind.
She said, I don't even know what I like.
See, so I think that's people chasing money instead of chasing what they really want.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think they were taught that, ingrained that. And then now once you're ingrained, you're actually living in it, you realize, yo, this is not what I want.
100%. But we live in a society where that's almost glorified, where we see these things on social media. We see people decked out. We see them iced out. Like when I had the event the other day with Runway and A-Mob and Tax Deed and all of them, I said it on stage. I'm like, yo, my watch is Invicta. They got Rolexes. I said 2 people in the crowd, y'all walked up to me and told me nice Rolex because of the type of person that I am. I could buy a Rolex if I wanted to, but why would I do that? And you just called my watch a Rolex and I paid $100 for it. It made no difference to me. I said,
a lot of it is imagery too. I mean, it could be.
It's the lifestyle. I mean, that's people. That's what people see. That goes back to that conversation of if the kid they go up to you because they see who you are, they see what you're doing. But if they see the flashy person that comes around, they're more inclined to go to that person because that's who they think they aspire.
What was the question I asked you? I said depends on what kid.
That is true. That is true.
We're talking about one type of. We know the kid. We're talking about one type of kid. Every kid is not like that, bro.
Nah, facts.
I know.
But that's the thing. We want to keep ingraining that same type of kid into everybody, which is the problem.
It's the freedom that comes behind it at the end of the day. Where I'm able to reel people back in, even people that come on my podcast, the high level earners, like, somebody just left and we had a conversation. He's a financial advisor. And he's like, yo, Rich, I feel like I'm gonna need some coaching. I'm not the money guy, but I'm the mindset guy.
Right.
And I'm the guy that's gonna help him set up a system to chill. Because sometimes people want that and don't even realize they want that. They get so caught up in chasing the money or get so caught up in chasing the fame that they get tired. And no matter what you are, you're going to get to that age. Aging is the one thing nobody can avoid. You're going to get to that point where you want to stop. Now, does your stop look like I can stop, walk away, and still have the same life? Or does your stop look like, I don't know, I got to figure something out?
I just really having that plan and really,
that plan is
really having that plan and focusing on what you really want out of life and how I go about it.
I think it's more than that because I done seen people with a lot of plans still fail.
I can say this. I think even for us, right, at Millionaire Essentials, because I just went on vacation. I didn't have service, but I had a team and my partner behind me. So if we didn't build that, I'd had to been in DR trying to find some type of service.
I wasn't on vacation though.
Oh, no, that was on
cooking.
I wasn't on vacation, bro.
That's good.
He was on vacation having fun.
Yes, he
You
should.
know what I'm saying? Calling back. Yo, I ain't got no service. I call you back.
Actually, I went to Mexico.
I was like, yo, Ted, what you do? I ain't got no service. I call you back.
I went to Mexico first for my birthday. Came back and then went to DR. A couple weeks later.
So I owe he owed me some. I owe, you know what I'm saying? I got about a good 2 months. I could, you know what I mean?
2 months. Hold up.
Now here's the question: why do y'all got to come back?
Because we're not set up where we could just at this point where it could just, you know what I'm saying, and make the money we want to make. That's the goal.
I think by the end of this year.
Nah, I ain't even gonna say that.
We're setting up a lot of systems right now though, which we've had before, but it's now fine tuning, really implementing certain things. The AEO, SEO. I think those are things that we're gonna be implementing as well. Different systems. Maybe.
Do y'all want to keep or sell?
See, and that's an important question, right? So now it's building brand or building a business to sell. So we're building a business to sell because that's where we talking about building systems, building our operations where we can package it, building the AI funding software where we can package it and sell XYZ. That's a whole nother story. Yeah. But we operate like in two different capacities, right? Like that's how we get along, right? For me, so there's two things, right? I think there's personal goals and then there's the business goals, right? Yeah. So it's what I will see for my family, what he may see for his family, and then what together collectively we see for the business. You know what I'm saying? So I may have different goals that I want to accomplish just in my vision of family. He has different goals. He may want to accomplish his vision of family, and what do we want to accomplish for the company? Now we come together and say, hey, we're all on the same page. How you doing over here? How am I doing over here? How's the company doing? And as far as our plan with the company, are we heading in a direction where we can live out our vision within our personal, goals? And I think within partnerships, and this is key within partnerships, and I realized that we have something special I didn't realize for a long time. A lot of people have issues finding partners. Yeah. And a lot of people come up to us and think we knew each other our whole lives, just that because we just happen to fortunately sync, and that's extremely rare. Like we talk every single day, multiple times a day about everything, about life, about family, about business. So we're always on the same page. If something happens, I could take up for him. If something happens with me, he could take up for me. Like we're just in sync with things, right? So I think it's with us is a little bit easier just building and saying, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, and get on the same page. Now, what you said as far as
whether to exit,
right? Or as far as working, no. What you say as far as working in the business. Me right now, like I think he's a little bit more relaxed than me. I'm like on go a little bit more. Yeah, he is. It's just that's my natural like. That's his natural. That's just me. That's exactly. I like on the go. Like that's just me.
So what do you want?
Me, I'm similar to as far as your vision, as far as building where I can say, hey, I built the system in the business to sell, but I'm still that person. I still want to be on go. Like this drives me. A lot of stuff, I still want to get out there and do it. I still want to be on go. And that's just my personality. That's why I said people got to understand themselves. Yeah. Like I don't want it to, I have to go in, but I love the business, so I'm going to go in.
Yeah, that's me.
That's me. You know what I'm saying?
That's me right now.
But I think you should build your business where you're able to sell and do it, be in love with doing it because you want to. For example, Steve Jobs. A long time ago, Steve Jobs don't have to be the face of Apple or go into Apple. He doesn't have to. But Steve Jobs, he comes in and wants to know everything going on. Like he did it to the day he died, and he would have kept doing it till he's 90 years old because he wants to. Yeah, he loved it. He loved it. Elon Musk, he loves it. Yeah. So you got to understand who you are. And they could still walk away and it's worth trillions, billions and trillions, their companies. But they're doing it because they love it. So you got to just understand who you are.
So you know what I'm saying? Do you love funding or do you love building a business?
I
think he loves building a business.
So how we started, when we get to that, I think we have similar motivations when it gets to that. So it's just changing the mindset around financial literacy, right? So that's the first step. Yeah. So that was my goal, and that was kind of similar goals we had, really changing the mindset around financial literacy first in our community and to the rest of the world, and having people understand that and help a business owner say, hey, you can build a business. Stop being stuck to just that one source of income where something fails and you're done. Start understanding how to invest and have multiple sources so you can get the freedom and understand what freedom looks like for you and building off of that. So now understanding that, and then we start understanding, some of the things you're talking about. What does building a business really mean? How do you build systems? How do you build teams? So now once we start understanding that, that's now the bigger picture of saying, hey, this is what the billionaires and trillionaires know. Building longevity teams and systems so now you can really build wealth. So now once we get to really understanding that, and now having that mindset, every day if I want to go in, I can. But if I don't, I can go on vacation for 6 months.
Yeah, I think the building my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off, but building the brand, building the business. I think that's what we've become and falling in love.
That's where we at right now.
And I am a little bit more relaxed than he is, but it has to be a give and take because it can't be both of us on go because then it's gonna become a clash, right? And I've realized that because at one point, even when we did start the business, when we were both on go, it was like we were both trying to do things at the same time, and it's like, oh crap, oh you already did it. I'm just gonna do something else. Oh, and then he's trying to get to it, and I already did it, and then so then I started to realize, and I'm more a relaxed person. That's my demeanor, anyways. So it was just easier for me to fall back into that. But even in what I do with being relaxed, I still get a lot done.
So why I ask those questions is because that aligns with what I do. And so with what I do, I have to ask questions like this because it gives me an understanding of your end goal, like what you want, how you want it, pause, how you do all of that kind of stuff. But goddamn, man.
It's always the
that was crazy.
It was crazy, but it's fine.
Come on, man. Come on.
It was crazy,
but either way it goes, like, I feel like what y'all are missing, because you have the back end knowledge, you have the actual knowledge, like y'all can stand in the paint and actually get it done.
And that was learned over time through trial and error mistakes. People taking our money, Of course. Go ahead.
I feel like the biggest key to what you're missing, and that's what will 3 times, 4 times your return, is the foundation of what a structure is. Do y'all know what that is?
I think that's something we're more so leaning into learning more of now, right? Because I know Brandon's reading the
It's a lot of books I read.
No,
bro.
but the one from Brunson.
Brunson. No, that's you talking about the fun. That's what really about funnels.
No. Then it's the other one. It's a Hormozy book.
Which one?
I forgot which book it is.
$100 million money models.
It's not that one. It was the other one.
$100 million offers.
Yes. So he was reading the offers, but it was and there was a part in it that he was talking about the foundational steps and how to build the business. And we were going through a lot of those.
I know that book, and he doesn't even mention it in there.
No, it's another book I read. Built to Sell.
Built to Sell, yes.
I bet you they don't even mention it in there.
So talk about what you mean there.
And so the number one thing you need before you even build a structure, and so before I even say that, because I want you to really pay attention to why I say this.
It was built.
Yeah,
it wasn't Hormozy.
Why does a pyramid scheme work? Why does a Ponzi scheme work? 2 different things.
Because of the foundation on the bottom? What? Go ahead.
Yeah, but I want y'all to say, like, why does it work? Fire Festival, right? The guy really went to jail, but he really got like $20 million.
People believe in it.
Off of something that...
Belief.
Yeah.
Belief. So knowledge and belief happens before you even build the structure. And so how knowledge and belief happens is from... This is your systematic integration. And so if we know the first step is advertising, and we know the foundation step is knowledge and belief, there's like an in-between place where people have to understand what we're doing before we advertise it. And that's where your website comes in. I guarantee you, if y'all kicking SEO, AEO onto your website more.
Absolutely. I don't know about the people out there, but I'm down that lane. I want to go down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, we got a whole website.
So I know that's where we are lacking on that side. I know that for a fact. I can say that for a fact.
And we're making money now. That's great. Like and no ads or nothing.
Yeah, so, because we didn't start off on that foundation.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big missing piece. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, and that's why he keeps bringing up the SEO and AEO. It's just
it's pivotal.
Yeah, it's timing, definitely.
Well, I like to tell people I'm a perfect number 2. I'm number 1 for my business because I'm at the top,
right?
But even with that, I'm not even at the top. I hired a CEO and I fired her. Now I got to get another CEO. But my goal is to not even be in the company anymore. And so it's a different type of thing. But where I'm the perfect number 2 is because I'm a coach in the way that I am, I'm not an influencer. And so I'm not competing with my clients or, my mentees on trying to outshine them. I let them shine and I listen to what their business needs and I help them build it from a real perspective versus where you have a lot of these coaches that's trying to be the world's best coach. And how are you really going to pay attention to your client if you're doing the same thing?
But everybody can't come to the table. There's only limited seats, bro.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, most people's not going to get what you just broke down on this podcast. Most people, even if they get it, they're not going to be able to implement it or execute it. And then if they implement and execute it, they're not going to be consistent with it. It's going to be a very small percentage who's probably going to see what you're saying, implement it, execute it, be consistent, call you up, probably tap in.
But that's why I always say that phrase of you don't have to be the entrepreneur. You can be the 9 to 5, just invest.
So Toyota gave me a lot of money to teach superintendents. And so the principles that you learn when you build a foundation don't just apply to 9 to 5s. And so what do you do? And I got the testimonial on my page. Go to my highlights and you will see it in there. Again, all this stuff is proven. I don't like telling people stuff that I can't show them. And so literally, this employee, not an entrepreneur, he doesn't have a business, doesn't own anything. We were able to almost 3 times the amount of money that he was making off of just changing his script. And so I don't want people to think that systems are stuck to just a business. A system is a way of life. And how you set up that system, whether you're in a W-2, whether you're in a 1099, doesn't really matter, because if we change what that system is or how outdated it is, because that's what the problem they were having was, they had an outdated system. The system was when somebody goes to the website, this guy gets a little ping on the website, they're looking at this car, hit them up if they put their number in, whatever, and say, hey, why'd you not buy the car? How'd you not do this and that? And it's a script. First question I ask, how old is the script? Oh, we've been using this for forever. I know. 10 years ago, that alone made them over $250,000 that month. Employees. And these are people closing deals. We changed the verbiage on how they interact with people, icebreakers, script. And again, I got the testimonial in my highlights. And he breaks down, he was like, yo, I was able to do damn near a 50% return on closing sales. I didn't teach him sales. I didn't teach him negotiation. I didn't teach him whatever. I taught him art of conversation and how to break down how to talk in, that was 2021, 22, where people making more online sales versus, a regular conversation.
That was right after COVID, and that's when the used car market boomed too. So that was a perfect time to do it. That's dope. You got anything else?
Let me ask you, before we get out of here, right? What do you think the essentials it is to become a millionaire?
Say that one more time.
What do you think are the essentials to become a millionaire?
I feel like the essentials to become a millionaire is be a good human being. At the end of the day, you can't let money control you. You got to be able to have fun. You got to be able to laugh. You got to be able to take pain. You got to be able to get backstabbed. And got to understand that there's ups and there's downs. Like, I just finished fighting 3 lawsuits, against the company. When you make money, it comes with other things. And I want people to understand that the obstacle course never goes away. It gets bigger. You go through a 5-mile race, or then you go to a 10K. Then some people might do a triathlon. Some people might do Spartan. There's always another challenge. And so the essential to becoming a millionaire is to be resilient.
I like that. And see, and most people don't even say that. A lot of people say, hey, fix your credit.
Right, do that.
make sure your cash flow, do your P&L, marketing.
Ads.
But that's probably the realest answer we've got so far.
Yes, but it might be the truest.
It is. I think it's the truest, because you know what's going to get you the furthest, in my opinion? Understanding how to be personal, understanding how to talk to people.
Yep.
I think that's the reason why.
Be personable,
and I think that's the reason why a lot of these bigger influencers, right? Cody Sanchez, Alex Hormozi, they are personable.
Yeah.
Pace Morby, they're very personable. Like compared to.
Compared to who?
Let me not say no names.
No. You started saying names. You started saying names. Compared to who?
I'm media trained. Let me not say names, but
that means he's scared. That means he's scared.
Those people out there, Cody Sanchez, Alex Hormozi, they're personal.
So you said I'm not gonna say names, and you keep saying names.
No, I'm saying their names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're the examples.
Okay.
They are the examples.
Okay.
I feel like people need to be more like them. They're the people that will go out, help, and bring more, give more, have more value for people, and they don't have to.
But I will say Alex Hormozy is not that different.
What do you mean? What do you mean by not that different? What do you mean by that?
He's not that different. He's just exposed it more.
What do you mean by not that different?
So you'd be surprised how many Alex Hormozys are out there, but they don't know how to leverage exposure like he does.
Exactly. That's the difference. Exactly. I think.
Yeah, but even in his videos, it's him.
It is him.
But that's what I mean.
I think he has the skill of taking everything from what he's learned from everybody and transforming it.
He has the skill of quantity. He has the biggest skill of quantity I've ever seen. If you look at how he sets up all his presentations, all his books and everything, look at it, think about it. And then this is structural. So if we break it down, what's the offer that he just put out? How many copies did he sell? $100 million models. He taught you what he was selling you, and he sold you into it to teach you it.
Yeah.
And so what he's doing, like his next upsell package from there is $6,000, and you got to get what? 200 books. That's what it comes with.
Yeah, and then you got to give him 200 more people. Exactly. And that's how you get your name out there. And then now.
So he's literally just a master of quantity. Like, he might be personable, he might have skills, but again, he's playing the same game that I'm playing.
Yeah, but
how many people that I can reach?
But it has to be there.
He's reaching it at a low price.
Yeah, but like I said, that has to be there. The personable side of things.
I don't think it has to be. Amazon is not personal.
No, but Jeff Bezos is.
Jeff Bezos definitely not personal.
No,
I think no. What
he came off as that.
What? Nah,
that's why a lot of people,
Elon Musk ain't personable.
Yeah, I didn't say that about Elon Musk. I didn't say that.
But what I'm saying about that, with the, let's just say the everyday small business owner just starting out, I think what's going to get you a lot further and get in the rooms when you have nothing is being personable and knowing how to network.
100%.
That's what we're talking about. Exactly, knowing how to have a conversation.
That's correct. But
that's what how I was talking about.
Like, you know, if like what I,
because we're not privy to the. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do I tell like Dan, all of them, all y'all? Every meeting we go to, I'm like, yo, how many people did you talk to today? Not make a sale, not offer something, not whatever. Literally just have a conversation. That alone, and I've shown them in real time, has closed me deals. I'm talking 6K packages, all that from just, hey, how's your dog? Yo, how you feeling today? Yo, you trying to go get lunch?
And then the next step is recognizing the right conversation.
Yeah. You know, but just having a genuine conversation to begin with. Like, you do that as a business owner instead of looking desperate. As a new business owner, you're probably going to make more sales.
And desperate as an old business owner too, because a lot of times, even when they're making money, they look desperate because they just want to make more money, and that's just their goal. It's not to provide value; it's just to make more money.
But most of the old people have to at that point because they don't pay for things and they in debt. It hurt.
Yeah, it's definitely important having the right conversations, right? So just like I always be hitting you up and Tevin never hit you up, like it's just understanding, like you know what I'm saying. But listen, this episode has been incredible, right?
That's terrible.
Get money rich, right? Money man rich, Mr. Richardson.
Yeah.
What do you have going on? What's coming up next? Because I know you have. I know we was talking in the beginning about, you know, he don't be on social media, but he has been out there a lot lately. He has. So what have you been doing? Like, I didn't want to talk about it just yet.
No, we gonna out him. Yeah, we gonna
been outside.
Yeah, we gonna out him. Yeah, we
so what have you been doing lately, and what do you have coming up next?
Lately, I found a way to charge even less money to bring more value to more people, and so, you know, that's why I've been outside more.
Okay.
Is because I need to reach a larger audience. And for me to reach a larger audience, it's not really SEO based. I'm giving something out for free. Most people aren't typing in free on Google. And so when I go places, I'm like, yo, pull up to the studio, get a free hour. Join the website, get a free subscription. Nah, not y'all.
I'm glad he's saying that word. I'm glad he's saying that word. I'm glad he's saying that word. All right, let's go, baby. Keep it going.
But, you know, we're putting them in positions to get to the next place. And so for me, I'm more so on a purpose run. And so with my purpose run, it requires me to be seen more. Because, you know, having a couple conversations with some people, they're like, yo, you have influence even though you're not an influencer. And a lot of the things that you say, a lot of the game that you can give, there's people out there that do need to hear that and see that. And so for me, I'm not really trying to go on stage to sell something or close on an offer, but I want to be on stage to let them know, like, we still exist too. You don't got to chase the money. You can be next to the people with the moissanite and calling it diamonds and all of that stuff, but you could just be you and you can vibe the same way.
And that's I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I don't like about you is that, no, for real, your message and the important stuff you're saying, sometimes we got to know how to play the game because there's so much of the negative out there. And then people like you, people like me, sometimes people like Tevin, we want to stay back. Yeah. And now we're just getting overcrowded and letting all that bad energy and bad advice stay out there. Mm-hmm. So we have to say, you know what? We gotta play the game and get our message out there because we want to affect a lot more people than they are.
Yeah.
So, and we have to understand that.
But what I also had to
if that's your purpose.
It is. But what I also had to understand is, and I just bought this hat the other day, is I'm not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I had to be willing to not service some people, even though I know that you use my help.
Yeah.
And I've literally watched people that I know I can help, and I've just not helped them because I have a specific target. And my specific target right now are people who don't know what they want to do. People who maybe don't even want to start a business. I'm looking for the people that are in between that threshold of they're just leaving high school, but they're not in college yet. They don't even know if they want to go to college, and they're just figuring life out. That's most of my audience for my podcast. And so Attractive Mindset lets people know, like, yo, you're not the only person in that spot. And so for the people that aren't looking for help is the ones that I'm trying to help, because those are the ones that really need it most of the time.
Yeah, because it's just the ego at that
But
point.
then again, and that's the challenge to me. That's where my purpose comes in, because that's a whole new level of SEO and AEO for me. How do you find somebody that's not asking for help?
Yeah, that's not looking for anything. Yeah, that's a harder challenge. When you get there, my brother, let us know. But where can the people find you? Definitely, let the people know what you got going on, what you got coming
all social media platforms. My most active one is Instagram, Real Money Bag Rich. You can follow our studio page at Attractive Mindset Studio, Attractive Mindset Network. And yeah, we just touch the masses, man.
Listen, this has been another great episode of the Millionaire Essentials podcast. We have been to the studio multiple times. Rich has welcomed us into his second town. He's a native New Yorker, but we love flying out here to Florida to chop it up with Rich. And you're going to see us together a lot more. Next time you see us, he probably going to have our SEO, AEO built out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be making a lot more money. So like I said, appreciate you, Rich, man. It's been another episode of Millionaire Essentials podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. And it's Tevin Facey. But before we go, y'all know that it's Millionaire Essentials. And what do we do? We do funding, right? So we help business owners get access to capital. So make sure you guys click the link below if you are looking for $50,000 to $250,000 and access to capital for your business, right? Just make sure you like, comment, share below.
Put that notification bell on.
Notification.
This episode is going to be a fire one. Y'all going to have to play this one back.
To it, because I always add value. I do it on my pod, but I want to do it on here too. So if you're watching this, because I know who the editor is going to be, you're going to make sure somewhere within this episode that something's going to pop up on the screen.
Yes, sir.
And when it pops up on the screen, if you send it to them or if you send it to our page, listen, we're going to give you an editing package for free. And if you're in the state of Florida, we're going to give you free studio hours for the 3 people that send that.
There you have it, man. There you have it. Another episode of Millionaire Essentials podcast. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.